Hare Krishna. So now I would like to introduce you His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami, who's been serving in GBC in parts of Russia. He's been serving in Russia for many, many years in the instruction from Srila Prabhupada. He was the first one who first brought the books from the BBT, representing BBT in the late 70s.
Hare Krishna. I'm happy to have the opportunity to speak today where we are celebrating Prabhupada's 50th anniversary to Moscow. Prabhupada was empowered by Lord Chaitanya to take this philosophy to every corner of the globe. After having established Krishna consciousness in Europe, America, Prabhupada wanted to preach in the former Soviet Union. Soviet Union at that time consisted of Russia and many other countries. Prabhupada knew this was a big challenge. So Prabhupada tried, and through some of his disciples, he managed to get an invitation to come to Russia. Prabhupada went to Moscow in 1971, accompanied by Shyam Sundar, one other American devotee, and one other American devotee. They got the visa with great difficulty, tourist visa, and when they were in Moscow, they took one of the regular buses, regular sightseeing buses. So Prabhupada managed to get an invitation from Dr. Kitosky. Dr. Kitosky was a well-known Indiologist. I met him several times later. And he once told me, Swamiji, I never thought Swamiji's movement would become so big in my country. So Dr. Kitosky invited Prabhupada, Krishna is blessing him, invited Prabhupada to Russia. Prabhupada met many Indologists. At that time, Indology was quite popular as a subject in Russia. So Prabhupada met Dr. Kitosky, and Prabhupada explained what is spiritual communism. And then Prabhupada was in Russia, Soviet Union, only for a few days. And his secretary, Shyam Sundar, cultivated one Russian devotee called Ivano. His name later was Ananta Shanti. This devotee was a very dynamic preacher, and after Prabhupada's departure, he started preaching. Prabhupada stayed at the National Hotel, which was in downtown Moscow, and he left Russia, Soviet Union, after a short stay. Prabhupada stayed in a hotel, and his secretary, with great difficulty, was able to obtain vegetarian food to eat. Shyam Sundar had gone to a shop to buy bread. He was standing in the queue when a young American who had great interest in yoga started speaking to him. And when he discovered that Shyam Sundar's guru was a yoga teacher, he said, "Can I meet your yoga teacher?" Prabhupada, in his very first meeting, could identify Ananta Shanti as a very sincere devotee. And believe it or not, Prabhupada initiated him, trained him up, taught him how to wear dhoti kurta, and left. But he planted a seed that later on grew. I happened to visit the former Soviet Union for the first time in 1976. At that time, India was very friendly with Soviet Union, and the BBT in Bombay had received an invitation from a Russian government agency called Mezuna Rolnaga Kniga to the invitation said, since BBT is publishing books on world peace, they want to have our catalog. This card was given to me by the BBT manager, I forget his name, and in Mayapur, 76, I met Prabhupada and I told him, we have just received this inquiry from the former Soviet Union for your books. Prabhupada was delighted. He said, go at once to Soviet Union. Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna Maharaj, our late godbrother, to go to China, and later he told me to go to Russia, to the former Soviet Union. So I came to Russia on 5 minutes not over. I came to Russia on the invitation of a Russian government agency called Mezuna Rolnaga Kniga. I had brought samples and we gave them the books, showed them the books. They all loved it. They were delighted. But they said, we don't have gold currency. We can give you our Russian books and you give us your Vedic books. This is called barter. And these Russian books were on science and technology. So I wrote to Prabhupada and said, they all want your books, Prabhupada, but the government doesn't have the money to pay. So they're saying, we can do a barter. Prabhupada said, you want to do a barter, just give them the books. So then we gave them the books. These books were later placed in libraries, including Lenin Library in Moscow. And these books inspired many Russians later to come to Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada planted the seed in 1971. After that, one or two devotees had come to preach. And then Prabhupada sent me in 1976. My second trip to this country happened in August 1977. At that time, we had received an invitation to a World Book Fair. The former Soviet Union started hosting the World Book Fair, which was very successful and which attracted people from the whole world. So in the book fair in 1977, Prabhupada, the BBT Bombay, had booked a very big stall, and we had all our Prabhupada books on display. And at that time, we also had Ananda Shanti. He was well trained up by then, make laddus, and he would bring those sweets to the BBT booth, and he would give the prasad to everyone who came to our booth, and they used to love it. So we had a very nice display, and those books were reviewed, read, seen by countless Russians who came to our BBT booth. And we were staying in a very prominent hotel, and many people, Russians, who were very impressed by these books, would come and ask questions in the hotel. So that book fair was a big success. And in 1977, the year that Prabhupada departed, we had received a certificate from the Russian government praising Prabhupada's books for peace and prosperity. I gave the certificate to Prabhupada, and for 2 or 3 months before he left the planet, Prabhupada was showing that certificate to everyone who came to see him. He was very proud of it. And unfortunately, this certificate got misplaced, and I haven't been able to track it out. So these 2 visits of mine in 76 and 77 helped lay the foundation, and it exposed Prabhupada's books to the Russians, who were very philosophical, intellectual, and seekers of knowledge. And gradually, Krishna consciousness spread. And then the preaching also expanded. So I'm very happy that Prabhupada gave me this service, and I have a great desire to preach here. And we hope that Prabhupada's movement will continue to expand in Russia and save the Russians. Prabhupada was very impressed by the Russians. He thought they were very intelligent and strong. And due to Prabhupada's efforts, today the Krishna consciousness is being practiced virtually all over the former Soviet Union. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
How many minutes was it?